Welcome to the Middlemen of Juros. I am Juro Evans Ufeli. With me today are Juro Emeka Madunago, who will be examining Nigerian economy. Juro Siri Abaku, who cannot understand why the Naira has suddenly fallen on crutches. Jumoke Alarabe James, who has the hammer on fake prophets and false prophecies. And I will be talking about unemployment in the country. But that will be right after the break. Please, stay with us.
Middleman.
Welcome back to the Middlemen of Juros. My case, unemployment in Nigerians' doldrum. Unemployment is an endemic socio-economic problem in existence in our society. Its consequences are grievous, tedious, and cumbersome to all stratification of the people in the Nigerian society. We are all affected, whether rich or poor. The have-nots in our mix must lean on us one way or the other. Some will beg, others will extort, and many have taken to crimes of robbery, kidnapping, and internet fraud. Unemployment is the greatest social problem retarding economic growth in Nigeria. Unemployment in this context does not mean the lack of job, but labor underutilization, amounting to unemployment of a larger percentage of the population. It is a well-known fact that a strong labor force is the impetus needed to run any decent society, more especially industrializing societies. The Nigerian quest for industrialization has suffered serious setback, which is besieged by unemployment, lack of purposeful economic planning with its attendant consequences of poverty and crime. Nigerian citizens today are faced with the worst economic situation ever known to human history. Small-scale businesses, the soul of mainstay economic hub, are closing down, and owners are relocating abroad for greener pastures. The multinational companies are doing the same, while rich Nigerian religious leaders are buying up warehouses where these businesses once operate. The citizens assemble at this religious center to pray unto God for employment. What a paradox. My verdict: I dare say that it is the mutual responsibility of the government and the citizens to create employment for the teeming population of this country. First, the government must guarantee security, and the citizens shall deploy their corresponding obligation by paying their taxes and being law-abiding. Every citizen must contribute their quota towards national development by looking inward with creative activities and possibilities. The government must stop complaining and get to manage the citizens effectively for national and economic integration.
I like to go to history most times when I talk about how Nigeria and Africa has developed. In the days of our great-grandparents, there was no unemployment because each family had its trade, like a career. So you're from the family of goldsmiths.
Family business.
Yes, or fishermen, or farmers, or the people who make ogi, or akara, or kasa, and you pass it down.
Yes.
So the daughter of an akara seller will also be an akara seller. Yes. The son of a farmer who has always farmed all his life with his father will automatically become a farmer. Now, when the colonialists came, Jewasiri doesn't like me to talk about when the colonialists came at all.
Christian way of talking. Just keep it at the secular area.
The colonialists came, and then they came with their developments, in quotes, right? Because if they had left us to develop at our own pace, we would have evolved at our own, pace. But when they brought their own technologies, and then you say, oh, I'm an engineer now because I went to a formal school, right? And then come out and, okay, where do I work now after I've learned to be an engineer? Okay, where do I work now after learning to be a geologist? Do you understand what I mean? So I do not have a solution for unemployment in Nigeria. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but okay.
I would like to ask a question. Is there really unemployment in Nigeria?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have taken time to investigate this matter.
Yes.
Every day on social media, I see jobs. Then I delve into the markets. I know there are a lot of traders who are looking for apprentices. There are a lot of artisans who are looking for apprentices.
Very true, sir.
There are different businesses looking for people to fill them up. And then I ask a question. If we say there's unemployment in Nigeria, unemployment on what type of unemployment? What kind of jobs are we looking?
We're all looking for white collar
But
jobs.
even the white collar jobs, you don't even find people who are willing to get into those jobs.
No, that's not
Because
true.
I will tell you that I am somebody who has a passion for helping people to get jobs. In fact, I deliberately canvass for jobs for people. I deliberately ask around, ask people, please, if there's any opening in your company, let me know. And I know that, for instance, last year, there was a woman, there was an opening somewhere, in one company, and they told me they had an opening for, a cleaner. And what I told you, she was so happy. How much was the salary? 50,000. But she just had to work. She just has to work, walk to her office and come back. Saturdays, Sundays free. And you can see the job. And let me tell you, that job has greatly improved her family condition. So the question you ask is this: what exactly do Nigerians want? When we talk about unemployment, you look at certain jobs, for instance, especially these white-collar jobs to talk about. You see thousands applying for them. But when we talk about jobs that require practical application, you don't even see people coming out for jobs.
That's because we've abandoned vocational education.
God bless you.
It is from vocational education you develop expertise and craftsmanship.
To be a plumber
You see,
or
just
a
when you go to university,
carpenter.
what you achieve in the university has currently constituted today,
Yes.
is that you go there to pass exams. Then sometimes, if you are very studious, you develop capacity for recitation. You could recite all you have been taught. Okay? You have never seen any of these implements, except that you rely wholesomely on the theories. And now your head is full with the theories, but you don't have a practical application to bring them into reality. So the moment, how many people write NAPTEC today? The moment we jettison vocational education, where from cradle you are taught how to make glass, you are taught how to repair machines and all that. You are given, you are trained to be a man of your own at a very young age. Look at countries where they develop through vocational education. India and China, the Lebanese, okay? They are the ones now providing solutions for us here. Okay, while our own youths who are supposed to learn vocational trade have abandoned it for cadre riding and Yahoo and internet fraud. Okay, because now they want quick money. They don't want to train themselves to develop expertise in any area of human existence. All they want is just ride Okada, collect money immediately, do internet fraud, collect money immediately, and that is the problem we have. So when we say there is unemployment in Nigeria, in the true sense of it,
there is unemployment. There is also underemployment.
Your approach may be philosophical. You understand? Because you are looking beyond numbers and statistics. You are saying that there is apprenticeship, you could trade, you could farm, you could do a lot to engage the society. But another question you ask yourself is that, is the society ready to deploy to these areas?
That is true.
And in any case, given the structure of Nigerian education, which baristas are needed to, when the other time when I think the big cement company was hiring truck drivers and PhD holders
Applied.
They applied.
We were the ones who laughed at them.
And people.
No, but that story, I've not seen one.
It happened. No, but it happened.
PhD holders want to apply.
Yes, they did.
Now the question is, what sort of society is this.
True.
In which somebody qualifies with a degree, that's a big thing, by the way.
Yes.
If you look at the advanced societies, somebody with a degree, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And it was big 30, 40 years ago here too.
Yes.
All right, yes. You not marry a banker, a doctor, it was a big
It
thing.
was a big thing.
Okay, so
Even as a teacher.
someone who has a degree, how much was someone who has a master's degree? A master's.
And then a PhD.
At that level, he is not ever supposed to be even looking for work.
No, they don't dash in the PhD.
No, but I also thought the PhD, but at that level you are specialized.
Yes, but
So I will
So what kind of hunger is making you to go and apply for driver work?
Of the salary, what is the
you know what Nigeria is we are like a country that has been at war for 40 years. And the war has just ended. And everybody's on ground zero. That's what we have to do.
For integration.
We are a country that is at ground zero. Everybody's running off Professor Tyler, Schuschbaker, all of us are the same.
We don't have Tylers. Please don't talk Tylers. We import Tylers from
But I'm not saying
A soldier came out to do that yesterday and said his salary is 50,000. A private soldier.
What about the lecturer that said he went to a bank to look for a loan? And they said the salary was too low.
Yes, now.
Do you know why?
200, 300.
They don't have the capacity for repayment.
Yes,
by economic analysis.
The problem like that. In Nigeria today, the white so-called white collar jobs, is that what we call them?
Yes.
Are concentrated in
The cities and towns.
in banking. Telecoms open up with the television sector, right? MTN and all
Yes,
so
telecoms.
telecoms is there. Fintech,
Oil and gas.
oil and gas, yeah, good oil and gas, fintech are there. Those are more like essentials because we can't do without them in the modern world. But ask yourself, how about the creative economy?
Yes.
The economy that does not that requires genius purely. So, for example, can I be a poet, be a writer,
Now, I'm going to kill you.
be a teacher? Any country that you cannot do that and thrive to the
That country has failed.
is a failure.
Yes. I'm a poet.
I'm going to kill you.
I'm a poet and my last entry.
That's why your salary is still 25,000.
That's what I'm talking. Because if I have capacity in these areas, telecommunication and all that, I'll be there. But God created me
To be a poet.
to render hope to humanity.
Oh,
You understand? And I am hopeless doing that.
that's why your salary is.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, so even a university degree is only a benchmark to something. You can develop your cognitive faculties to think at that level even if you didn't go to university.
Yes.
You can.
That's it.
By personal story.
I said I disagree.
Software
I
development.
have a BSc, MSc, mass communication, majoring in broadcasting. I went to internship in AIT and I was looking at the equipment.
I'm talking of thoughts, not practice.
No, thoughts.
I'm talking of thoughts.
Personal development.
That you can the Watawa didn't go to university. He's one of Africa's. In fact, he brought journalism to African poetry. There's a point I'm coming at. When you are not able to, so if you're a BSc, it should be a given that your opinion faculties have been significantly expanded.
Yes.
So at that level, you are not just going to be using certificates to look for jobs. You are a thinker.
Yes.
Who probably thinks solutions.
Yes.
But in Nigeria today, do you know that after your masters, your BS and masters, it's like, thank God, finally.
A job will not come and find me.
Because I'm done.
Okay, so what are the solutions?
Those guys who are making Silicon Valley tick. That's the real education.
But you know that Nigerians are doing very well in fintech.
No, of course, yes.
Like these solutions globally.
They have deliberately moved themselves from the Nigerian
I agree.
into a space that we've created and curated for themselves.
I agree.
So somebody who is doing work of institution is most likely not thinking too far. So to reduce us to jobs of cleaner and may not be
Skilled work.
yes, may not the informal sector is good, but that's not the real.
Remember, Governor Ganduje, PhD, Public Administration. His empowerment was shoe polishing because that's the capacity of his
No,
people.
that wasn't an empowerment. That was sheer wickedness. What he did to his people.
Yes.
In the days of war, if you bring affliction to the people, there are certain punishments that's meant for such kind of leaders. That is why when the philosophers gathered, they said on no account should anyone lead that is not a philosopher. That's the Leviathan king. Socrates that developed that theory. Now, You see, the problem we have is that as we speak today, the informal sector of the Nigerian economy is doing better than the formal sector. Yes, because any country where market women, plumbers, furnitures are now the ones, having the earning power, okay, to sustain the economy, however unmeasured. You know that country has failed. Because ordinarily in most countries, the formal sector, okay, that drives the economy from the formal angle, they usually do better and better, but ours, the formal sector have collapsed. That is why we have the Chinese, the Indians, and the Lebanese. Now, when we employ Nigerians, even when the law says that if you have more than 2 employees, you must create what they call pension fund for them. Okay, you must also ensure that you pay them at a level standard remuneration. Okay, here what they do is they get 1 or 2 supervisors and casualize over that person. There's a company at Ogba, they have over 300 casual staff.
Jesus.
Yes, and those 2 supervisors. Those supervisors are also on contract. They are employed those contracts. Okay, when they make too much, they push them aside and bring in one. So now our labor space and the laws thereof is not managed by anyone. Okay, even the Minister for Labor does not know the number of Nigerians that are casualized and the number of Nigerians that are in active employment. When we are in that closure, what we have is that we have not only abandoned the citizens to their fate, but we have also relinquished your responsibility as a labor minister. The entire country was as a regulator, and we have allowed foreigners to exploit the people unrestrained, and that is exactly what we are doing. And if you look at foreign participation, the laws on foreign participation say you cannot set a company and have 4 directors that are foreigners.
True.
No. You understand? The law says you must have 2 directors.
You must be domestic.
Who are Nigerians. You must have work permit. You must have all these things. But you see, immigration and all these things are flouted.
Who is implementing?
And what you have is just the wreckage of a country looking for how to survive. When we return, Joel Siri Abaku will be talking about the state of the Naira. Stay tuned.
Middlemen.
The Naira on Crutches. At the time of this recording, Bureau de Change operators in Abuja have shut down operations. We hear there are concerns about the significant depreciation in the value of the Naira against the US dollar. Well, a big term like that, when you hear depreciation, what it really means is the free fall of the Naira. Several BDC shops at the usually busy streets of Wuse Zone 4 axis of the nation's capital were put under lock and key. It appears this is their own little way of showing patriotism with the nation's currency. In fact, even motorists trying to stop around the area were not allowed to do so. The report we hear doesn't get any better. It is understood that some currency traders are attempting to boycott the order were compelled to desist. Some defaulters were even led away by security operatives who took positions at strategic locations in the area where the market is located. All of this happened courtesy of a notice issued by the BDC Association's chairman, Abdullahi Dawran, that its members will be shutting down operations to curtail the unprecedented free fall of the Naira against the dollar. His notice was issued yesterday, Wednesday. In the past 7 days alone, the Naira has plunged to an all-time low across both the official and unofficial segments of the currency markets, placing considerable pressure on the fiscal and monetary authorities. Here is my verdict. The CBN, in a circular issued on Wednesday, ordered deposit money banks to sell their excess dollar stock by February 1. The CBN must not stop there. We must ensure also that there is a mop-up of the dollar so that the Naira can breathe. Then, lastly, we must not leave this matter at the hands of mopping up the Naira, mopping up the dollar, and so on. There must be a probe to ascertain any criminal infractions that will be responsible for why the Naira keeps on falling against the dollar. I so rule.
But the case is very easy, because when you say mop up the dollar, the less dollar there is in the society, the higher the exchange rate becomes. Because what's happening right now is there's excess Naira chasing after just a few dollars, because we're an importing nation. So we need dollars to buy all the things that we consume, but we're not selling anything to help us earn that amount of dollars. Hence, all of our Naira is chasing after few dollars. So the less supply, the higher the price, right?
Where we are right now is, do we even know how much dollars are in the hands of, because those who need the dollars
don't get it.
Who ideally should get it from the right places
from the CBN
are not even able to access or get the dollar.
We do not have it.
No. So is the dollar in the hands of those who should have it, or is it different? If you call for an election today now, dollars will flow out again too.
So I agree with you.
I don't think the CBN have the moral rectitude to send that memo to the commercial banks, even though the CBN is the regulator.
Yeah.
The reason I say so is because what the CBN is impliedly, accusing
the banks
the commercial banks of is the same thing that the CBN does.
True.
Yes. The CBN does not regulate the dollar in ways that it will get to people who need it. I was traveling last year. And applying for BTA, they asked you to go and fill the form. You fill the form and they ask you to apply through your bank. Then when you go to your bank will tell you that the CBN did not release dollars to them. You cannot access the CBN directly as an individual.
We do not have
You understand? So the CBN also diverts a lot of these dollars to part of the allegations.
Round shipping.
Yes, part of the allegations against Mefele, the former CBN governor.
Yes.
You have that as economic sabotage, that the count charge on economic sabotage.
Yeah.
It's just what I've just said.
Round shipping.
So if the CBN does what the commercial bank do, you say you have floated the Naira. What it means is that you want demand and supply. You want demand and supply to determine
to balance it.
Yes. And you know that you don't have enough supply.
Yes.
Because you do not earn.
Yes.
You are only spend. You only spend. You are not, apart from crude, and maybe a few people.
And people coming home.
And then the diaspora remittance and all that. We don't have it surplus.
Yes.
You understand? So we're always going to have problem with this. So telling the banks to mop up or to dispose of what they have, we must first of all set an example.
It's no.
Let us even know if they have.
The banks don't even have.
If they have and they want it.
It's a different matter.
No, can we even, because this what the government, what Biden was talking about, the fact that the banks telling that CBN didn't give to them, were they saying the truth or not? Because we need to know. And if indeed the CBN didn't give to them, we don't need to know CBN, why didn't you release dollars to the
when eventually gets to them, they want to do what the CBN does.
See, exactly. No, the banks get their dollars from a few people. When you say diaspora remittances, a few of us who are family members have dashed Forex.
That's just a fraction.
A few, which is what I'm saying that. So how can you be saying, go and dispose of what you have, when you are not even giving them? So that Siri bought $100, Jumoke bought $200. You said the bank should dispose of that.
There are dollars that the commercial banks earn themselves.
Yes.
And there is the one that the CBN is mandated by law to supply them. You understand?
Yes.
So now CBN is saying, go and dispose what you have done. Is that what they're saying? Or the one that's also, let them tell us. Exactly.
How much did you supply them?
Yes. So that, because if you are not responsible as a regulator, the person or the institution you are regulating will also give it back to.
There's a very simple solution to this our Forex issue. Number one, right? If we just produce, manufacture all the things we want to consume, which may start from just give us 24 hours electricity, let the industries work.
And I don't want to really believe that we don't have enough dollars. I don't want to believe that.
I don't believe
If you let INEC come and say now we have election next week.
I said it.
You will see that. You will see. Let's say you have primaries where delegates have been given money. You will see that it happened not too long ago now.
When we look at the fact that there is also a lot of smuggling of foreign currency into the country, it's a big business. Smuggling of
That is why at the airport they say you shouldn't carry more than 10,000.
Yes, but there are people who still carry more. In fact, there are people who travel with ATM cards to foreign countries, to Dubai and the rest of them, and they withdraw money, come into this country with a lot of dollars that do not go through the official system.
Yes.
So that aspect you cannot even.
There's a limit to what you can withdraw.
You don't even monitor there.
Different
from Nigeria.
Yes, it's a
There have to be there must be 0.001% of our population.
You know what happens? You know what happens so much? You know what they do with illegality? If you now have maybe 5 different bank cards,
yes.
Okay, you know, one have limits.
Yes, daily limits.
Yes, and that one is not tied to the other.
Yes.
The limit is not tied to the other.
Yes.
So you can use one, take as much as
so you can. So you use all the 5 of them, take all your limits.
Every day for 1 month.
Oh.
So you know how much you would have taken. And that will
now bring it back to Nigeria and come and
when you want to bring it back, you now look for people who are coming home. You now split it. People who come back so that you will not carry above the threshold.
You see why I say that has to be 0.000.
Even if it's also where
because you have to go and look for many people who bring it in.
Even if it's not close, you can do that.
What one small finger can do to a hand, you can't imagine.
This is a daily thing.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Do you know that there are Nigerians who have registered businesses abroad?
Yes, very much.
All you need to do is just get there, provide an address, and then there are business centers that are set up to receive letters abroad. I'm just telling you. Yes, there are business centers. So once your business is registered, because it is. You have provided an address. So you can go to an Airbnb, for instance, pay for maybe 3 months for an Airbnb. Now that's an address. So you get registered. And then the business center will be receiving your letters. So you already have a business. And then there's a lot that passes through that chain.
Within that time.
And then money that comes into the country through that chain. So there's a lot that goes on.
We're talking about scarcity. You're talking about the one that is coming.
There is no scarcity in the parallel market.
There's no scarcity, yes. It's the
official window. So when we talk about petrol,
no, but it's the parallel market that is now shutting down in Abuja.
No, we're talking about the black market.
There is something they are not telling you. That's why I wonder why Joe will talk about patriotism. Something they are just trying to play the intelligence of Nigeria.
The black market is driven by rate.
Yes.
If I tell you that I'm going to give you this rate, that anything I'll give you this rate, you will get the dollars will come out.
Will come out
because based on demand and supply.
That is it.
So if I increase it for you, or I'm giving you at a lower and you are giving and you can't bring it. You understand? But at the official end, where you have to go through the banks, that is where we're not having this.
I wanted to clarify something when you mentioned politicians. If there's an election today, you find dollars. So they are the most powerful. They are in the 1% of the elites that we're talking about that can go to the CBN governor and say, I need $1 million, to prosecute my election. But when we talk about need, the manufacturer who needs dollars to buy his raw material.
I think you put things upside down. You got it wrong. They can go to the CBN governor to ask for dollars to import raw materials.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Politicians.
Yes, the same politicians. Don't forget the same politicians are directors in companies. They are directors. They are strategically positioned in various companies that ask for Form N to import even as little as flowers for events. They own event centers, they own catering centers that apply to CBN for forex. So this forex,
When they collect
when
it,
they collect the forex, it goes to politics.
Yes.
That's just what I was just trying to
so that is why they tell you, if you must apply for BTA, show us your visa. Show us that you have a ticket.
There's a syndicate.
Show us that, yeah, show us that you have a syndicate. You don't take it to.
There's a live syndicate that I know about that. You see, they go about, there are people who have money. They go about making sure that they can, get people to get a visa.
And if you are traveling today, and if you are traveling today, they say they can't give you more than 2,000. So what will that, before it used to be 4,000. Now they say 2,000. Now that same 2,000, when you finish all the processes and you get to your bank, the bank will not tell you
They don't have it.
So it makes less of
because when 1 million people, right, out of 200 million of us, are demanding dollars. Right? I import shoes from Turkey. I import bags from Italy. Because we are a consuming nation. Everything. Toothpick, we are importing. So when a big percentage of us are demanding dollars, but the only way we are actually making it, aside from family members bringing it in, is crude oil. And we have more resources that we are not selling. It's for us to now start producing our bags and our shoes. But once the demand for dollar to import goods and raw materials, if it's only raw materials for manufacturing.
Let us even first of all patronize the locally made ones. If we do that, we will reduce the demand for the foreign ones.
The locally made ones right now are more expensive because
they are more expensive
because there's no electricity.
You must pay the price at some point. Okay. No, I'm telling you the truth.
So you're hungry and weaponized poverty.
You must pay the price.
Hopefully next Tuesday, by then the CBN government would have gone to answer questions at the Senate.
You have to speak to Nigerians. Then it's happened before committee. Plenary or committee.
I think
it's
a committee. It should be a committee.
So I hope they won't ask him to put up the mic.
I know we have to.
But when we come back, Jura Emeka Madunago will be examining the twists and turns of the Nigerian economy. Stay with us.
Middlemen.
My case. Twists and turns of the Nigerian economy. When President Bola Tinubu came to power, he ended fuel subsidies and floated the Naira in quick succession. These actions spread tremors across the Nigerian socio-economic space as the prices of goods and services suddenly went up so much. The Naira went from floating into a free fall, while fuel price hikes have caused untold misery for Nigerians. However, it has emerged that the economic planners failed to consider some factors before taking these drastic steps. How come that despite the injections of dollars into the economy, Nigeria has yet to clear the huge backlog owed foreign airlines, while banks are said to have huge vaults brimming with dollars? My verdict: we must address the distortions and inconsistencies in our economy. We must walk back on the hasty subsidy removal and floating of the Naira so that the poor can breathe.
Again, I will ask that did we truly float the Naira?
We did. I think
Did we really remove subsidy?
No, the CBN is now looking for a way. By the directive issued yesterday, the CBN is now looking for a stylish way to do away with the floating of the Naira.
Can you imagine?
They have to. You know why? Because it's becoming increasingly embarrassing. The Naira has gotten to a point of niche effect.
Well, like Zimbabwe now.
Like the Naira cannot even afford itself. You know, I wasn't allowed to buy the Naira.
Yes.
And when they say they want to move to, we say no. The Naira cannot afford itself. It's like a fish that's eating itself. So we are getting to that trajectory where if the CBN does not step in now, if you say they don't step in now, it means that the economy will completely be strangulated. And for the subsidy, you see that hand that invisible hand has already gone into the subsidy.
Oh.
Because when the World Bank told us that, this is when they said this price, it's not supposed to be the price, because see what the landing cost is. So what magic are you doing to sell it at this price?
True.
Government did not sell anything till date, meaning that they are still paying subsidy.
True.
So now at the level of the CBN, because you remove subsidy and float the Naira in quick succession, according to your so now the CBN must put its hand there and regulate the Naira. Artificiate it. Artificiate it. Because if you allow it, it's not strong. So you cannot log in USC football with Mark Ford. A very prominent thing. Say if a matter is law is a nullity.
Yes.
As you cannot put something on nothing, it will collapse. So you want the Naira to stand when it does not have the breadth to stand. You are not earning anything, you are not producing anything, you are not the highest donation. The greatest thing that your economy is producing is prayers. All the whole houses where they manufacture goods and store them, and before now they store them. They are not churches. Now the citizens who do not have employment now go into those warehouses to pay and to go to give them. Instead of going to those warehouses to power the machines, produce and produce. That's how they're paying. That's how they're paying. So when Bible reverses productive ventures. So the other discussion is the fact that we talk about we have an OPEC quota of 2.3 million barrels. But we're just hovering around 1.3 million barrels per day.
Because the extra is stolen.
Now, do you know what? Sometime in January, just within about 5 days, there were 211 ruptures of our pipelines in Bayelsa, Imo, and Abia states.
Stolen crude oil.
So it's not stolen. The one we talk about, one discussion in that. I want to point to something. One discussion there is that when we talk about this OPEC quota, we forget that ours is a joint venture matter. So even if we have 1 million barrels per day, all the barrels belong to Nigeria. Not all. The counterparts have to take their own. Yes. So at the end of something and all that, we have.
Do you have a machine that actually even counts? That truly we produce 2 million barrels per day. Yes.
Today. You don't know if you don't see this now, the rich basket and cover your head. Since independence, we don't know. If you want to create any problem, NNPC now.
Ask me.
I'm going to change this in our.
But do you have the technology that measures how many barrels of crude oil
NNPC will never tell you that. That is why they will not come and go and tell you that this is what we produce, this is what we spend, this is what we. When we're talking about the turnaround maintenance, the question Femi Falana asked them was that how many barrels do we produce? That was why when CBN governor, the former CBN governor Sanusi, talked about the fact that a huge sum from the crude
20 billion
had disappeared.
Yes.
Nobody, auditors could not find, because an auditor will need to know the baseline figure.
True.
Before we are able to put one on and know where this thing has gone to, when you don't know the gross, what do you do about what is left and what is gone and what is within? So when you look at other pieces should come out and tell us how this thing works.
How many barrels per day?
There are so many distortions in the Nigerian economy. You just know that these things are man-made, they are artificial. Yes. A lot of these things cannot, for instance, the scarcity of the dollar, the free fall of Naira, you cannot base them on any economic fundamentals. Yes. You cannot justify why, for instance, the 1,000, which is the highest denomination, cannot buy bread. A loaf of bread. You cannot justify everything.
1,400 in Naira.
You cannot justify why everything in Nigeria is based on dollars. You just can't justify it. So you just find out that these are the distortions we need to identify and deal with. If we want this, if we want to have.
I have one question. If per one miracle, Nigeria just has 24 hours supply of electricity per day, meaning that the average Nigerian who uses electricity, because we still have people in our villages who don't even know what we're talking about, yes. Right? The people who want to consume electricity, if they just have 24 hours supply, will our economy start to pick up?
It will pick up. No, it will. You know, it will take time.
Unless you deal with the distortions. Can I tell you what?
It will take time.
The same people will sell this electricity. They will find a way to divert the electricity and sell it.
No, assuming but not
I'm
conceding.
saying that, assuming all of us now have
We
it.
have dealt with the distortion. In an ideal situation, what you saying, assuming but not conceding that we're able to have it against this distortion.
Yes.
Like we just have it.
Yes.
You see, it will improve because people will begin to think how
Production.
We produce already.
Cottage industries.
People
Yes.
start to think about storage. We produce already.
Yes.
This is one to Benue State and that axis.
And processing.
Yeah, a lot of people will now start to store. Okay?
Yes.
When we are able to store, what it means that you have been able to recoup and secure food. Food
Yes.
security will emerge.
Yes.
And one of the baseline of economic growth is where we have food security.
Yes.
That you have enough food to the point where price will reduce.
Yes.
So that the citizen can access food easily.
Yes.
During Christmas, we're buying rice for very high price.
Yes.
We're buying fruit and all that for this. But because the people who produce this thing bring them out seasonally,
Yes.
sell them out, they cannot keep them for a long time.
Yes.
So if the price of food reduce,
Yes.
manufacturers small scale, okay, people start to open up shops.
But no longer buying diesel.
Yes, so the weather can now do a job with electricity, and small businesses can now run without buying fuel and all that.
Yes.
The demand on fuel will also reduce.
Yes.
And when the demand on fuel reduces, it means it
We
counts
will
more
even
for
save the dollars that we're using for importing.
There is something the government is working on, which they hope will deal with the issue of electricity, which has to do with using more of renewables, to power industries and residential consumers, So government is still working on it. It's a World Bank initiative. It is being worked on. But the point is this: Nigeria currently has an installed capacity of 18,000 megawatts, but just about 5,000 megawatts can go through the national grid.
Yeah.
So one distortion that needs to be sick. One distortion is that the national grid should be brought down. Then private operators, there's one private operator now that is trying to secure right of way to build its own grid across the country. So if we can have operators, who can set up.
We can also maintain a national carrier, just like we have in the telecommunication.
Yeah.
But have other companies invest to have, we can call it sub-national grids.
So all we have they will upgrade that grid, and then they will now pass their own.
I have another question.
Their own generation through the grid, independently.
I have another
That's the
question.
boost of power.
So we said we wanted to privatize the power industry, right? We sold the generation companies, Gencos. We sold the distribution companies, Discos. We now retain TCN 100%. And we already know that as far as government is in business, because government doesn't have business being in business, then there is problem. Now, the Gencos will tell us, out of this your 18,000 megawatts, the Gencos will tell us, we are producing 10,000.
Yes.
The Discos will say, but we are only receiving 5,000. What's happening? The government in the middle, TCN, can only transmit 5,000.
I can choose to be quiet
And we,
and not say anything.
if I say that,
You are polluting the country more.
if I say we have sense now, you say it's wrong.
TCN, we have sense, but we need to use it, deploy the sense very well.
What I mean is nobody can hold the TCN to account. In reality.
TCN is
Quiet, you can't do anything about it.
TCN is a major distortion in the economy.
It's a big distortion.
When we return, Jumoke Alode James will be addressing fake prophets and fake prophecies in Nigeria. Wow. Please stay with us.
Middlemen.
Welcome back. You're still on the Middlemen of Jurors. And like yesterday is a very religious one. I will be asking why we have fake prophets and fake prophecies in Nigeria. You may have seen the viral video just this February of a prophet who in November 2023 was saying that the dollar would come down and the Naira will become stronger. That in fact by February 2024, Nigerians will become prosperous. Okay, Pastor, it's February. How far? His video reminded me of another pastor, my neighbor, Pastor Tarobo, who was very upset that every time he prophesied, that he never went viral. And you know, those prophecies used to come true. So he warned the people around him to please ensure that what he was saying would go viral. He prophesied that President Donald Trump was going to come back and become president. Well, maybe he would come back in the next elections in the US, but we are sure that his prophecy went viral to just show that it didn't happen. And then, because that didn't happen, it also reminded me of another man of God who had predicted that he was going to be president of Nigeria. I'm talking about Pastor Chris Okotie, who till the last elections was still sure that he was going to be Nigeria's president. His prophecies till tomorrow, maybe after the next elections, will be president. Now, I look at all of these prophecies and wonder, what were they thinking? My verdict: Nigeria would be a better place if we didn't have fake prophets and fake prophecies. Rather than be righteous people, we're overtly religious, and we suspend our thinking faculties to people like us who call themselves men of God, who predict and prophesy things that never happen, and then turn our warehouses, like we've discussed already, to churches, praying to God and never really doing our parts. So the phenomenon of God is that God is within, and if we kept it personal, that we're an honest people and do things that do not, harm our next door neighbors, Nigeria will be a greater place, rather than us suspending the things that we ought to do. Again, faith without works is nothing, but Nigerians prefer to just go and pray, and I've never seen how a population become prosperous by people just praying and other people will be dashing them millions of dollars. We have seen that is not working for Nigeria.
Well, Jumoke, I've had your case. Interestingly, I agree with you that
I'm in absolute shock.
That fake prophets and false prophecies should have no place in our political space. Fake and false, that is. I am often reminded by Citizen Jones, him, a broadcaster, of somebody who prophesied in the 1980s that a man whose name was in the Bible was going to be Nigeria's president in the Second Republic. It never happened.
You did.
What's the name of the
There was
person?
Shammai in the Bible, and Shagari became president.
Shammai, right?
That's another discussion.
And it never happened. So to that extent, I'm looking in the Bible, it said, I think in Jeremiah, it said that if a man speaks, says God told him, and he said what?
And it doesn't happen.
That man is not a prophet.
Yes, he's a fake prophet.
So, I don't know why they do what they do, but to the extent that they say what they say and it doesn't happen, these people, I think, they need to, so because there's no law regulating that, really, okay? But
Karma. Karma doesn't.
Karma is hopeless.
You don't build society on that kind of thing.
Karma.
Yeah, but you build on rules and regulations, on no laws that can be enforced.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because you don't have that, these people continue to disturb the name of God in the name of being sent as messengers. But what I would say is this: when I look at the time of everything we've discussed here, especially because Baza was saying people now go to warehouses and
And also,
the truth of the matter, Jumoke, is that I put it on this table. You can count up to 20 people who will come out and testify and say it was after prayers.
now somebody sent me 1 million naira.
Business blows on and I became what I became. How many people can Nigeria government post and say, like China?
Yes.
So by our target, in 10 years, we created 5 millionaires in Nigeria.
Why you said we create 10,000?
And we are still waiting. He was saying it's a billion.
Because they will provide for all of the work.
But one of President Tinubu's supporters now, Yule Doche, you are showing that you can be versatile. He's not a man of God.
You see, this issue is very sensitive.
Sorry, Master. There's a lot of people, and again, I'm not an advocate for because God will pass and let me go to God. That's not how I know Christianity.
Okay.
But people flock, believe me. Well, if power became constant and government said we are giving out loans to people that can do business,
You will stop going to church. You will stop going to church. I agree.
Yes.
so people go out and people they want solutions. For me,
Nigerians are driven by survival.
I agree.
You see, anywhere they can find survival. Sometimes when they subvert the cost of anything, they will all go there.
True.
Now you have one that is raining where some Indians are in the country who promise you good luck, prosperity in business, wealth from anywhere. You will be ready. They won't tell you what you'll be doing, that you will be earning money. You will just be ready. People flock those places, take their star there, take their whatever there and all that. But I'm even surprised that we are surprised that we have fake prophets. Because if you go to the Holy Read from ancient time, that's the reason why there was a provision that we should test all spirits rather than God. You see, when you have fake prophets proliferating around, what it means is that you have weak Christians. Because the Christians are not testing the spirits. The Bible gave them that corresponding obligation to test all spirits whether they are of God in the book of John. But they have abandoned that because of the crops of survival. So anybody can wake up at any point in time.
And say I'm a prophet.
Now, in this one you just talked about, I mean, Pastor Tunde Bakare told his congregation that is the sixth, that God is the fifth and he is the 16th.
Yeah.
You understand?
How we are seeing me in the next issue.
So now all those prophecies failed. If you go to his church, you still have Nigerians there listening to him and all that.
Although Pastor Christopher's church has empty church.
At the end of the day, I'm not going to have this, I'm talking about so at the end of the day, what you have is a people who are so confused, okay, they cannot even differentiate between the voice of God and the voice of their false prophets. So because you cannot even, like the Berean Christians who were told, when they taught them the things they taught them, they went back, because they were highly philosophical, they went back and checked whether the things the man of God were saying. Yes, they were. So if you read their history, the Berean Christian, in pastoral theology, read about them, before their conversion to Christianity, they were people of philosophy and magic. Okay, they are people of logic. They balance things. So that influenced their practice of Christianity. They went to investigate whether the things that Paul said to them or wrote to them, whether those things were true. You understand? So here, it is not about what is true or what is false. It's just about
what can help me.
People just want to go to God for purposes of bettering their life. They want to make money through God. They want to become wealthy through God. They want to have good marriage through God. Everything through God. They don't want to do any work.
Good health.
In exchange for that thing. So it's still a society that is suffering from two major issues. One is
extreme poverty.
One is extreme poverty, and the other is lack of education.
Ignorance.
Yes, ignorance. So that's everywhere in the world.
The fact that highly educated people also fall victims to these fake prophecies.
They are not educated. They are not educated. They are schooled. So these people are schooled, but they are not educated. So we always have the everywhere they work, we have poverty and ignorance. And that country cannot succeed, no matter the amount of money injected in place. Because poverty and ignorance, they are two very dangerous situations.
Yeah, so but at the risk of making this a religious conversation, there was a time.
The case is a religious,
of course, but yes, so there was a time a man who had very good credentials as a prophet in Israel when God had sent him to go and anoint somebody, and he said, surely God's anointed is before me. He got it wrong at that time. There is a possibility that a true prophet, being human,
can get it wrong sometimes.
But yes, I align with
Rabbi.
Actually, the work of the prophet is not necessarily that of a seer per se. The prophet is to download God's mind.
Why did they make it sin?
No. A true prophet, who is able to download God's mind for the people to say, this is what God is saying, and this is the direction we should be going. Sometimes the people involve teaching, breaking it down.
Yes.
It's not necessary. So those who have reduced that office to just someone who sits and says, you want a blue dress, your name is this, and as well as for sure.
And God is not
That
for sure.
should be a part of the gift, but you are not helping the people thoroughly. So there must be a balance between
Talking about balance.
revelation and edification. But the Bible said, you see, when people come to church, there are things they want to hear, there are things they want to see, because of the extreme level of poverty in the
I agree.
And that has largely, even for those who came to do good teaching, sometimes when you see coming, I mean, so after.
So when you're telling them the truth, you see that they're not buying it. You have to tell them
After the long queue, there's a long queue there. My brother is sick.
I want to pay a house rent.
How do you feel that the balance economics are taking care of?
They come to church for payment.
Because you know why?
The government has failed.
They are failed. So largely, for me, largely, I think the blame of the blame has to be put where it belongs.
Leadership.
The day we have functional, responsible leadership, I can assure you that what as they say,
The time is level.
People will bring things to church. When I go to church for collect.
Talking about balance, imagine that Chris Okotie just did half of the work that Peter Obi did. Maybe he would have been a credible candidate. But last year during elections, he was asking the three major contenders to step down.
No, I think that was just out of.
No, he said the propaganda of new economic theory. Now, the democracy we are doing will not work.
So I should step down.
But what we needed was a different kind of democracy. We called it a name, and he said in this democracy that you are going to have unions, like medical union, for example, will take care of the Ministry of what do you call it? Ministry of Health and all that. But I said, I spoke to him and I said, I think the solution is to first of all send a bill. Yes, that's a bill, because you cannot ask them to contest election for this government to amend. That because it will be going against the constitution.
Because you believe in the model he was proposing.
No, I said whether the model is to run or right.
Work or not.
Yes, the first thing is to first of all pass a bill to representative.
Private citizen.
To representative, 13 copies. Pass it through the person representing you. Follow it up. Let them debate it. First reading, second reading, committee stage. And when we get to, they get it.
Maybe we can nominate him as president, like Abacha. You know, in the days of Abacha, 5 political parties voted Abacha as their main candidate.
But you know that kind of bill, we are sending the bill to plenary to tell them to look at it, to approve it, so that they who are the lawmakers will no longer be lawmakers. So that they will pass it and they will now enrich themselves. And then the person that's coming will now come and listen to.
So join us next time. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Enterprise TV 7. Also follow us across all social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7 and visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.